The sun dipped low over the Santa Monica Pier, painting the sky in hues of gold and amber. The charity fair thrummed with life, laughter, the sizzle of food trucks, and the chatter of a crowd gathered for a noble cause, raising funds for Cure NF with Hope, a foundation supporting children with neurofibromatosis. Colorful stalls lined the boardwalk, offering games, crafts, and a dazzling display of sleek cars, their polished surfaces gleaming under the evening light. At the heart of the event stood Jason Statham, the action star himself, leaning against a jet-black supercar, arms crossed, a faint smirk tugging at his lips. He was the VIP guest, lending his star power to the cause, signing autographs, and snapping selfies with starry-eyed fans. His presence crackled with intensity, but his sharp eyes scanned the crowd with the instincts of a man who'd spent years embodying tough-as-nails heroes. Amid the families and car enthusiasts, a deep growl sliced through the festive hum. Heads turned as a modified sports car, its underglow pulsing blue, rolled into the fair's car show area. The driver, a wiry 28-year-old named Derek, stepped out with a swagger that screamed trouble. His black jacket glinted with metallic studs, his hair slicked back, and a cocky grin spread across his face as he revved the engine louder than necessary. Derek was a local street racer, notorious for tearing up LA's backroads and flaunting his exploits online. He'd heard Statham was attending and saw it as his shot to steal the spotlight, not by supporting the charity, but by challenging the Hollywood icon in front of everyone. Derek strutted toward Jason's supercar, his crew trailing behind, phones already recording. The crowd parted, sensing the brewing storm. "Yo, Statham!" Derek shouted, his voice laced with mockery. "Big action hero, huh? Bet you can't handle a real car. All that movie stuff's fake, stunt doubles and special effects." His crew snickered, and whispers rippled through the onlookers. Jason's smirk held steady, but his eyes narrowed, locking onto Derek like a hawk eyeing its mark. He stepped away from the car, his stance relaxed yet coiled, like a spring ready to unleash. "Mate," Jason said, his British accent cutting through the tension, "I'm here for the kids, not to mess about with some wannabe speed demon." The crowd chuckled, but Derek's grin twisted into a scowl. He wasn't backing down. "Oh, you're a comedian, old man. How about a race? Your fancy car against mine. Right here, right now. Or you too scared to get smoked by a real driver?" The challenge hung heavy, and the crowd's murmurs grew louder. Kids gripped their parents' hands, and volunteers exchanged anxious glances. This wasn't on the schedule. Jason glanced at the organizers, who were visibly nervous. The fair was meant to be family-friendly, not a street racing circus. But he also saw the kids watching, their eyes alight with excitement, and the parents whispering about whether the action star would bite. He knew Derek's type, brash, ego-driven, chasing clout. Ignoring him might calm things down, but it could also embolden him to stir more trouble. Jason's mind worked fast, calculating like the tactician he played on screen. He'd done his own stunts for years, from high-speed chases to bare-knuckle brawls, and he wasn't about to let some punk derail the day for the kids. "All right, kid," Jason said, his voice low and steady. "You want a show? Let's make it mean something. If I win, you donate your car's value to the charity. If you win, I'll match it. Deal?" The crowd erupted in cheers, but Derek hesitated, his bravado flickering. His car was his pride, worth a hefty $80,000 with its custom mods. But the cameras were rolling, and his crew was watching. "Deal," he snapped, extending a hand. Jason shook it, his grip tight enough to make Derek flinch. The organizers hustled to set up a controlled course along a closed-off stretch of the pier's access road, a half-mile loop with sharp turns and a straightaway. Volunteers erected barriers, and a local cop, grudgingly approving the stunt, ensured the area was safe. Word spread like wildfire, and the crowd swelled, phones out, live streams buzzing online. Jason slid into his supercar, its sleek interior wrapping around him like a cockpit. He adjusted the mirrors, his movements calm but precise, like a fighter prepping for battle. Derek, meanwhile, revved his car, the exhaust barking loudly, hyping up his crew. As the race kicked off, the crowd roared. Derek's car surged ahead, its all-wheel drive grip giving him an early edge. He weaved through the first turn with reckless abandon, tires shrieking, his car's blue glow streaking through the dusk. Jason, however, drove with surgical precision. His car's engine roared, but he didn't gun it right away. He'd raced before. Not just on film sets but in his youth, tearing through London's backstreets before his diving days. He knew Derek's type leaned on flash, not strategy. Jason bided his time, letting Derek burn his tires and ego in the early corners. Halfway through the loop, Derek miscalculated a turn, his car fishtailing. Jason seized the moment. He downshifted, his supercar surging forward like a predator. The crowd gasped as he overtook Derek on the inside, their cars inches apart, Jason's sleek black frame glinting under the fair's lights. Derek cursed, pounding his steering wheel, and pushed his car harder, but Jason's focus was ironclad. He navigated the final turn with a drift so smooth it looked choreographed, crossing the finish line a full car length ahead. The crowd exploded, kids jumping, parents cheering, and volunteers clapping in relief. Derek screeched to a halt, his face flushed with rage. He stormed out, pointing at Jason. "You cheated. No way you're that good." Jason stepped out of his car, calm as ever, and walked toward Derek, the crowd parting again. "No tricks, mate. Just skill. And you owe the kids 80 grand. Derek's crew went quiet, the weight of the bet sinking in. The crowd's cheers turned to chants of, "Pay up! Pay up!" Derek's bravado crumbled, but he wasn't done. In a desperate bid to save face, he swung a wild punch at Jason. It was a mistake. Jason's reflexes, sharpened by years of martial arts and stunt work, kicked in. He sidestepped the punch, grabbed Derek's arm, and twisted it behind his back in one fluid motion, pinning him to the ground without breaking a sweat. The crowd gasped, then cheered louder. Jason leaned down, his voice low but firm. "You're done making a fool of yourself. Walk away, or I'll make sure you can't." Derek, panting, nodded, his ego in tatters. Jason released him, and Derek slunk back to his crew, who avoided his gaze. But the story didn't end there. As the crowd thinned, Jason noticed a young girl, about 10, standing near his car, her eyes wide with awe. Her name was Lily, the inspiration for the charity, diagnosed with neurofibromatosis years ago. Her mother, Sarah, stood beside her, a quiet pride in her eyes. Jason knelt to Lily's level, his tough guy facade softening. "Like the car, love?" he asked. Lily nodded shyly, clutching a toy car that mirrored Jason's. He grinned. "Tell you what. Stick with your mum, keep fighting, and one day, I'll let you take this for a spin. Deal?" Lily's face lit up, and Sarah's eyes shimmered with gratitude. Jason spent the next hour with them, sharing stories of cars, diving, and his gritty days growing up in Shirebrook, working market stalls and dreaming big. The fair continued, its energy now electric, the crowd buzzing with tales of the race and Jason's takedown of Derek. Social media lit up with videos of the event, clips of Jason's cool-headed victory and Derek's defeat trending under hashtags like #Statham vs Racer and #CharityHero. As night fell, Jason stood alone by the pier's edge, the ocean stretching out before him. He thought of kids like Lily, fighting battles tougher than any movie villain. He'd come to help, but something deeper had stirred, a reminder of why he pushed himself, why he took risks, why he never backed down. Derek's car was later auctioned, raising $90,000 for the charity, and Jason matched it quietly, no fanfare needed. The fair closed with fireworks bursting across the sky, their colors dancing on the water. Jason watched from the shadows, his silhouette unmistakable against the glow. He wasn't just a movie star tonight, he was a hero, not for his fists or driving, but for the heart he showed when it mattered. The crowd didn't see him slip away, back to his world of fast cars and faster fights, but they'd never forget the night Jason Statham turned a reckless challenge into a triumph for a cause bigger than himself.